Peace. This is White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the Most High, the perpetual force that moves all things in place, the living one. Absalom'S conspiracy. Conspiracy. You know, many people call me a conspiracy theorist. And to be honest with you, I have no problem with people calling me a conspiracy theorist because there are many conspiracies that are taking place and people are walking around with blinders on like a horse on a racetrack. You just can't figure this out. You can't do it on your own. The only way that you can figure out what's going on this plane of existence is in complete, total submission to the Supreme Spirit of Truth. Do I even think that I've got me a pass into the kingdom of heaven? Not a chance. The Bible says only a remnant of God's children will figure this out. 2/3 of you are going to burn for lack of knowledge. Can you imagine that 2/3 of the planet are going to burn, of God's children are going to burn from lack of knowledge? And the Bible also tells us that 1/3, once released from the Euphrates River, that is supposedly dried up. Now, can we confirm that, any of us here in America? Or is it just something we're being told? I don't know anymore. Everything is such a lie on this plane of existence that you have to be very careful of who it is you're taking instructions from. I mean, personally, myself, I don't care anymore if people listen to my instructions or not. This isn't about you. This is about my relationship with the Most High, the Spirit of Truth, the living one. You need to get in line and jump on a bus. I don't care whose bus it is, but you need to find somebody that's teaching the truth. You need to empty your mind to all that you've been taught on this plane of existence. Close your mind to what you've been taught. Empty your glass. There's no way to receive the truth if your glass is full of shit. It's that simple. And believe me, your glasses are full of shit. They've been filled with shit since you spit into this world of death. You just don't get it. Everything that you've been taught in the education system is a shit show. Everything on politics, another shit show. Everything that you have learned and been taught, even from those that you love, more than likely has been garbage. Okay, because they've been indoctrinated. And this is the hardest thing for people to understand. They refuse to believe that the wool has been pulled over their eyes. They're just too wise or too smart. That couldn't happen to me. I'm not that ignorant. Hey, folks, I was. And that's what comes with truth, is admitting humbly, without an ego the size of the state of Texas, that you know everything, because that seems to be a big problem for Christians, that they know everything. Let me throw out a few shout outs here, starting off with Lady Elaine Quinn, a new listener of mine. I don't know if she's listening to any more of my content or anything, but again, I would still like to welcome you to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. Also, Brian Jordan, again, thank you for subscription. My good and dear, very close friend, Gravy Train. Always love talking with you on the phone and sharing text messages and being connected as one in the Spirit of Truth. There's none that I get to engage with more than you, and I'm very grateful for your friendship. I'm very grateful for your love. Blessings to you and your family, your daughter, your dog, everybody that means anything to you. May they find the truth as well. Anaya Obadiah, I don't hear much from a lot of you that I'm mentioning, but my heart is with you. I think of you all the time. I think of all of you all the time. You've got to understand that my channel has had literally over 10,000 people who subscribe to my channel. My other channel probably had about 5,000 subscribers. And when they shut it down, I had 517 subscribers. So 90% of the people that come into my room and hear my content, I've come into my room and tickled their ears because I have figured out the riddle of 666. But then once they hear the answer to the beast, the creature who is 666, and I make these connections that the gods of this Bible are 666, they flee. Everybody heads out. Also, Brother Rakima, haven't seen or heard from him for a while. A true child of God, a soft soul, kind man, beautiful in his spirit. I want to say hi to you. Also, Mia, I'd like to say, again, thank you for listening and coming in and taking on the knowledge of the truth. Jeremy Rodriguez, brother, thank you. You and I, we don't interact with one another. Every time now and then you do drop in though, and you leave me a message. I would like to thank you. Also, Nikki Bagley, always a pleasure. I love all of you. I love people that walk in the truth, want to hear the truth. They're with the truth. My dear friend Allie, haven't heard from her for some time, or her family, though we do share a few emails and everything. I understand that people are busy and have their own lives, and that sometimes you just don't have time to come in and listen. But you are always in my thoughts, and my family, my subscribers are always in my prayers. Chad Burgess, again, I want to thank all of you. I thank all of you very, very much for your support. And when I say support, I mean just coming in, smashing the like button, and leaving a comment, because I don't ask for anything financially from anybody. You know why? Because I work. I work and I make my own money. I take care of myself. I'm in a very blessed position. I will say that my dad has fallen. He broke 5 ribs. He is not in good shape. He's 86 years old. So this could be the beginning of the end for him. I thought that that he might live until he's 90. To be honest with you, I'll be lucky if he lives until he's 87 now today. God willing, he'll give me a couple more years. I picked up a client as well, probably about 10 days ago, which has consumed a little bit more of my time. Turns out that client is, got some serious issues, so I couldn't work it out with her. And, may the Most High put his spirit upon her so that she can see the truth and her deceptions and her lies. So I quit just recently, but then I got a call today from another client. So I picked up another client, which gives me even more hours than what she was receiving. So, I'm thinking about picking up DoorDash. I do a little bit of construction. I'm now almost working full-time hours with IHSS. I donate a little bit of plasma. And so I'm financially securing my retirement, and that's all to the blessing of the Supreme Spirit. Money doesn't mean anything to me. It's only a product of this system that we live in, and a means to survive. So it is nice to have a little bit of money in your pocket, that you're not broke all the time, and that if I need something or somebody in my family needs something, that I'm able to help them out. That's the only blessing that I find in working as much as I have been. And all praise of that goes to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, not the God of this world, which is money, the God that's right on the back of your dollar bill, and God we trust. So I don't trust in money. I only trust in the Spirit. And I hope that others can understand that concept, that money can't go with you. It's not going to buy your way into heaven. It's not going to do anything for you other than help you to survive on this plane of existence. We all have to work. So again, we're at Absalom'S conspiracy, because this entire plane of existence is a conspiracy. All of it is a conspiracy. And I don't know what it is, but lately, since I took on this client, I've had a lot of discord going on in my mind. Not this new client, but the lady that I was working for. I'm in a business, folks, where I deal with injuries. I deal with automotive injuries, spinal injuries. I have to clean people. I have to help them to the bathroom, this kind of stuff. And then you have those that are mentally incapable, unstable, mental diseases, possibly because of all the drugs that the government shoves down their throats. I have to deal with diabetes patients. This has been a lot of discord in my mind since I've been dealing with this. And not to mention the work that I put into my channel and simply the little bit of reward that I get back. And this is what I mean about I have to get out of my own head. This isn't about being rewarded from anybody that's listening on my channel. This is about my rewards coming to me in the afterlife. And sometimes I think with all the time that I put into this channel and the effort that I put in, and I have 432 subscribers. I've been doing this on this channel here for 4.5 years now. My other channel was 5 years. I've had multiple channels shut down. I mean, I've had, these aren't all the channels, channel removed, channel removed, channel removed, channel removed. Because if you mention anything outside of these people's indoctrination, especially about the World Health Organization or what plagued our nation, and you stand against it, or you mention anything against what they're telling you to take, that jabba dabba doo, the Fred Flintstone jabba dabba doo, which is this word right here, is 666. So, and if you say anything against these right here, anything at all, okay, what is the number for pharmakia in the Strong's Concordance? Magic. Pharmakia is magic. Give me 1 second here. So the number for pharmakia, which is pharmacy, which is pharmaceutical drugs, medication, is magic, literally, figuratively, sorcery and witchcraft. Also, here, let's see, the use, oh, come on. The second meaning right down there on the bottom, what does that say? The use or administering of drugs and what's that? Poisoning. Poisoning. Sorcery or magical. See, so when you take in pharmaceuticals, what's happening is you're being placed on a spell from witchcraft. Look at the word witchcraft right there. Okay? So when people call me a conspiracy theorist, I'm very okay with that because I'm not walking in darkness anymore. I'm just on a different path than other people. My path is to decipher this Bible and find out what's being said. So conspiracies are all right for me. In the course of time, Absalom provided himself with a chariot and horses and with 50 men to run ahead of him. He would get up early and stand by the side of the road leading to the city gate. Whenever anyone came with a complaint to be placed before the king for decision, Absalom would call out to him, "What town are you from?" He would answer, "Your servant is from one of the tribes of Israel." Then Absalom would say to him, "Look, your claims are valid and proper, but there is no representative of the king to hear you." And Absalom would add, "If only I were appointed judge in the land, then everyone who has a complaint or case could come to me, and I would see that they receive justice." So to me right away, that sounds like he's trying to step in, a conspiracy, trying to step in front of the king. If I was a judge, everybody would get to have justice, but because the king is so busy and he doesn't have a representative, we're going to have to blow you off and send you on your way. Also, whenever anyone approached him to bow down before him, Absalom would reach out his hand, take hold of him, and kiss him. Well, the Bible says that you're not supposed to bow before men, okay? You're not supposed to bow before anything other than in your room or in your closet and in your privacy between you and the Spirit of truth. That's who you bow down to. You don't bow down before men. You don't. You understand? I don't care if they're Israel. I don't care who they are. I don't care if it's the Pope. I don't care if it's a minister or a priest or anyone at all. You don't go up to a podium. You don't go up to a threshold. You don't kneel down before a cross. You don't lay down before idols. You don't do it. That is heresy. That is eternal fire when you do such an evil thing. Absalom behaved in this way towards all the Israelites who came to the king asking for justice, and so he stole the hearts of the people for Israel. He stole their hearts by, is it true? Was it even true? Or was he blocking these people, as he said, 50 men ahead of him, blocking these people before so that he could find favor in their eyes? That's the way that I'm reading it. At the end of 4 years, Absalom said to the king, "Let me go over to Hebron and fulfill a vow I made to the Lord. While your servant was living at Geshur in Aram, I made this vow. If the Lord takes me back to Jerusalem, I will worship the Lord in Hebron." The king said to him, "Go in peace." So he went to Hebron. Then Absalom sent secret messengers throughout the tribes of Israel to say, "As soon as you hear the sound of the trumpet, then say, 'Absalom is king in Hebron.'" 200 men from Jerusalem had accompanied Absalom. They had been invited as guests and went quite innocently, knowing nothing about the matter. While Absalom was offering sacrifices, he also sent for Ahithophel and Gilonite, David's counselors, to come from Gilo, his hometown, and so the conspiracy gained strength, and Absalom's following kept on increasing. So I have a question for you. This phrase, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, is attributed to Lord Acton. Okay? So, even if you're an Israelite, are you susceptible to corruption? Are you susceptible to power and being corrupted yourself with power? Because look at these things that Absalom is doing in secret to gain momentum. What do you think his end game is? Well, right there it tells you. David flees. So, 200 men from Jerusalem had accompanied Absalom. They had been invited as guests and went innocently, not knowing anything of the matter. While Absalom was offering sacrifices, he also sent for, I've read all that. So the conspiracy gained strength and Absalom's following kept on increasing. A messenger came and told David, "The hearts of the people of Israel are with Absalom." Then David said to all his officials who were with him in Jerusalem, "Come, we must flee, or none of us will escape from Absalom. We must leave immediately, or he will move quickly to overtake us and bring ruins on us and put the city to the sword." The king's officials answered him, "Your servants are ready to do whatever your lord, the king, chooses." The king set out with his entire household following him, but he left 10 concubines to take care of the palace. So the king set out with all the people following him, and they halted at the edge of the city. All his men marched past him, along with all the Kerethites and the Pelethites, and all the 600 Gittites who had accompanied him from Gath marched before the king. The king said to, is that a L, T, or is that a capital I? Ittai, the Gittite, if I killed that name, feel free to correct me, with phonetic spelling. I'm always open to correction. A lot of names in here I'm sure I kill, but I have a humble heart. They're not of my language, so sometimes it's a bit difficult. Okay, why should you come along with us? Go back and stay with King Absalom. You are a foreigner in exile from your homeland. You come only yesterday, and today shall I make you wander about with us when I do not know where I am going? Go back and take your people with you. May the Lord show you kindness and faithfulness. But Attai replied to the king, as surely as the Lord lives, and as my lord the king lives, wherever my lord the king may be, whether it means life or death, there will your servant be. David said to Ittai, go ahead, march on. So Ittai the Gittite marched on with all his men, and the families there were with him. The whole countryside wept aloud as all the people passed by. The king also crossed the Kidron Valley, and all the people moved towards the wilderness. Zadok was there too, and all the Levites who were with him were carrying the ark of the covenant of God. They set down the ark of God, and Abiathar offered sacrifice until all the people had finished leaving the city. Then the king said to Zadok, take the ark of God back into the city. If I find favor in the Lord's eyes, he will bring me back and let me see it in his dwelling place again. But if he says, I am not pleased with you, then I am ready. Let him do to me whatever seems good to him. The question to ask yourself is, who is Absalom's Lord that he was going to praise? And who is David's Lord? Are they two different lords? Because the Lord had favor with David, now the Lord has favor with Absalom. So doesn't that cause confusion? Wouldn't the Lord in the Bible is Yahweh, and Yahweh is the God of Israel, and God of Israel in the gematria is 666. So this causes confusion. The king also said to Zadok the priest, do you understand? Go back to the city with my blessings. Take your son Ahimaaz with you, and also Abiathar's son Jonathan. You and Abiathar return with your two sons. I will wait at the fords in the wilderness until word comes from you to inform me. So Zadok and Abiathar took the ark of God back to Jerusalem and stayed there. So where's the ark today? Anybody know? Can anybody answer that? Nobody knows where it's at. But David continued up the Mount of Olives, weeping as he went. His head was covered, and he was barefoot. A king, barefoot, humble, contrite, broken, ego crushed, at a loss. Yeah, that's humbling. All the people with him covered their heads too, and were weeping as they went up. Now David had been told, Ahithophel is among the conspirators with Absalom. So David prayed, Lord, turn Ahithophel's counsel into foolishness. When David arrived at the summit where people used to worship God, Hushai, the Archite, was there to meet him, his robe torn and dust on his head. David said to him, if you go with me, you will be a burden to me. But if you return to the city and say to Absalom, Your Majesty, I will be your servant. I was your father's servant in the past, but now I will be your servant. Then you can help me by frustrating Ahithophel's advice. Won't the priest Zadok and Abiathar be there with you? Tell them anything you hear in the king's palace. Their two sons, Ahimaaz, son of Zadok, and Jonathan, son of Abiathar, are there with them. Send them to me with anything you hear. So Hushai, David's confidant, arrived at Jerusalem as Absalom was entering the city. I'm going to end it with that, with the reading. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth. May you find peace. May you destroy the beast that it was within you, because that's the discord, the same kind of discord that's been in my mind. This is why every time I jump on, I have discord, and I jump on and I start reading the Bible and I start sharing and I start worshiping and I start talking and walking in the truth. All my discord goes away. You know, it may come back, but for that moment where I was just so in my head and I'm angry and I'm bitter and I'm just feeling awful, right now it's all gone. Before I started this lesson, if you were inside my head, you'd see the pain and grief and torment that I was going through in my own head. So this has been a blessing for me to be able to share this kind of content with you and send all of you, my subscribers, much love. You're very important to me. And if you've listened this far, go ahead and smash that like button and leave a comment. Much love to all of you. This is White Raptor News Ministries. Oh, look at what we have over here. Ghost, the final series, stars. Who's the ghost, folks? Mankind. More than likely it's you. You're the walking dead. Hope you figure this out. Much love. Good night.